Walking Blind is hosted by overly emotional dudes who overthink and overanalyze everything. Nothing the hosts say should be taken as medical advice or opinion. They're not professionals, and they're about to make that very clear. So just kick back and hang with them, as you've earned it.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Walking Blind podcast. No introductions necessary. We're just going to get into it. Let's go. This is episode 26.
26.
I actually, I messed up. Last week, I uploaded the last week's episode as 26. I didn't even realize we completely skipped over 25.
Yeah.
Even though we talked about it being 25, and we were excited for it to be 25. And you were like, hey, man. I was at work. I just caught this. I was like, fuck. I had to go back and switch it. We're good now.
Yeah, I'm glad it was a quick edit. I thought you'd have to I thought you'd have to take down the video and post another one.
It's a pretty quick.
I was like, no, we're gonna lose these 3 views.
We're gonna lose the 3 people that tuned in.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, man. Episode 26.
Episode 26.
It is a nice, beautiful Monday evening here at the Casa at the Walking Blind HQ, and refreshing. It's just water, but it's refreshing. Just curious, man. How you doing? Let's jump into this. Let's do this.
Mental health check. Mentally, I feel pretty good. I feel like I've been trying to like walk every day. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's been helpful for me. I had it's funny, this morning I'd put something on my live about what's everyone using. Mm-hmm. And for myself, it's weird how I was so tempted to want to be I'm using music, which I'm not, or I'm using something, something cooler, but it's no, I'm using walking right now.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, so it's been helpful.
And what was your full question? You were asking people what they were using for.
I was just asking what's everybody been using this month as their coping mechanism.
Gotcha. Okay.
It being Mental Health Awareness Month.
If you guys don't follow Mike on social media, he does post regularly from at Walking Blind Pod. However, Mike of NBR is the main profile page, so he posts some gems over there. Yeah.
So every morning, I think we've talked about this. Every morning at my job at the coffee shop, if I'm opening, I'm the one who turns on the music for the day. And since before I started recording myself doing this, every morning I hope it's Adele.
It's been the Adele check.
It's been the Adele check, which I've only been keeping track of it this time around. Mm-hmm. And so I started to record myself because I don't know why I started doing it, but I've been doing Adele checks for years. Mm-hmm. But right now I'm in the 50s, which means I haven't heard Adele yet.
That's
And so today,
so does the counter reset to a 0 after it's been 385 days on the job without an accident, right?
Yeah.
So now you're it's 51 days without Adele.
I think it should reset.
I think it should reset. Yeah. See how long it goes without Adele.
So then this morning, I was talking about it, and apparently Scott is the owner of where I work, Daily Brew, and he didn't know that I've been doing this.
Really?
Yeah. He doesn't check. He's not on social media really. And so, everyone else knows. Everyone else knows I do it. And so, and I think maybe he'd heard about it, but I don't think he really got what it was.
He didn't understand it.
Mm-mm. And so then finally he's just and also I've been asking, just not for my Adele checks, just in general. I was it'd be cool to have more Adele on the radio. Yeah. And so he's let's put something on. So then I did, and man, she came on a couple times today.
Really?
It was awesome.
Is that cheating?
I don't think so. Maybe.
It might be cheating.
It
might be cheating. When somebody is aware of the Adele check and then makes more Adele happen, I think that's cheating.
Well, it was good. There was almost like no Adele at all.
Yeah.
Like, there needs to be some.
What happened was when you originally left, they were like, yes, and they took all the Adele off the playlist because they were like, Mike's no longer here. Which, don't get me wrong, should have never been done. But
so twice, I guess one of them was a customer, one of them was one of my coworkers, but one of our customers came in and what is it, Adele? I feel like I think it was an Adele song, and he came in and he was just like, nice,
nice,
yeah,
nice, bro.
yeah. But anyway, so I don't know, more Adele at the shop, I feel like is just a win and a plus.
Now they played Adele at the shop, but did it make the Adele check first thing in the morning? Or are you still on day 50?
No, I'm on day 50 something, 51, I think.
Okay.
I really don't know. Like, I definitely skipped days and shit, or like repeated them. It's kind of a joke at this point. Like,
yeah.
But
I like that you started doing is you started just randomly starting your camera on scenes in the paintings.
Yeah.
Pictures.
That's pretty.
So like, I'm at this beautiful lake. Psych.
Yeah.
Gotcha, bitch. Adele check.
Yeah. And then I've been using that time to like I've started to add like questions to it or like or promoting something.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, yeah. So hopefully, let's see if we can get some Adele in the morning.
Get that Adele checked off for the day.
Yeah. So but anyway, that's nothing too as far as where I'm at mentally and just for the week. Man, I hope this is nothing, but I've been like since last night, I feel like I've had like a cough, and I started to really I guess I'm noticing it now more like this morning. It just felt like I've had something in my chest.
Has it been like a slow build? Like, have you felt this over the past week or so? Or?
I don't know. I think if I look back, if for me, I haven't even registered it. If I have,
yeah,
like, I don't know. Maybe I've had this all week, and I haven't really noticed it until like last night, kind of, and then this morning. I was like, I felt like I was like, oh, I feel like I have something in my throat and get it out.
Yeah,
and then it's carried. And then,
do you feel sinus congestion or is it all just chest?
Not chest, I guess.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I feel all right, but
hopefully it's nothing. I did offer him tea, ladies and gentlemen, and he shot me down.
I said, no, tea and soup, no thanks.
That's fair.
Where are you at?
I'm good. I'm annoyed with work. But other than that, I'm good.
Why are you annoyed?
Because like there's a lot of times when management, I have to tread carefully here. Mm-hmm. Management makes decisions without basing them on what actually happens at the floor level, right? So my position is essentially like there's directors, managers, then me, right? And then underneath that, there's the supervisors, and then whatever. Mm-hmm. So we're in a position where we see everything going on the floor because we're very hands-on, and but we're also still included with all of the decision making for where we work. But it's also kind of like, are you really included in the decision making? I don't know. So like when we suggest things or we bring things up, sometimes they're like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Other times they're like, well, that might not be the best bet. And we're like, yeah, but you're not looking at it from this point of view.
We're the boots on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just one of those things where like we have a ton of open positions right now. We have a ton of spaces that need to be filled. Mm-hmm. And they're just like, I get what they're trying to do, but they're also ignoring like there's a training track for a reason, right? I guess I should explain. For those of you guys who don't know, I'm basically, my position is a trainer for a healthcare organization, right? So we bring in all the new staff, we train new staff, supervisors, everything like that on the workflow and the way things are done, essentially, at the company. And then through that, we also work with like the management for hiring and things like that, keep them up to date on the new hires, kind of keep them posted so that like once these new agents essentially transition to where they need to be, there's no question about where they stand, right? Like the supervisors are prepared for these new team members to come in and they already kind of know what their quirks are or what they might be struggling with or what they might excel in, you know, things like that. Like it's not always a negative thing.
Yeah.
So there's just like, there's a training track for a reason because there's so much that we need to get done in the time that we have. And when that gets thrown off to somebody who's not looking at it from like a, like boots on the ground level, they're like, that's fine. We could just rearrange shit. But then it doesn't really quite work that way. So like they'll throw in like they randomly were like, hey, we need you to rearrange these classes because we have a pharmacist starting and you need to train the pharmacist. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, but
So does that mean the pharmacist will be missing steps to catch up to everybody, or is that set everyone back?
so it's more of like the pharmacist is not getting they're not getting the full training experience that they need, right? They're like cherry picking the things that they need. And then because they're not getting the full training experience and because we're rearranging classes, it kind of throws everything else out of order for everyone else to accommodate for one person. And that one person, I guarantee it, I'll call it right now, that one person in 2 weeks, I'm going to be retraining them on the same thing because they're not around and they don't do it often. And then when they have to do it, they go, I'm confused. Can you teach me this again? We have to go back and train it. So it's things like that. Like there's not,
So it's just creating more work.
yeah.
When it can just be
And it's
done
like
right the first time.
Yeah. We're accommodating for people's schedules. We're accommodating for certain things, but at the same time, like it seems like we're doing the most logical thing, but we're not. And yeah, so it's stuff like that. Like where I'm also just kind of like, well, and I think that, and I'll say this, and if anybody that I work with listens to this, either if they do listen, either they'll agree with me or they'll just be like, okay, that's fair.
Agree, disagree.
Like what I signed up for this job is not what the job ended up being. Right? Like I signed up for it as an opportunity to like, hey, I'm going to work one-on-one with these, you know, with people training. Like I'm training all the time. Like we train the classes and then boom, you're out, you go. And then really what it is you train a couple classes for like a week or two. And then the rest of it is just essentially like paperwork to make sure that you're still doing what we taught you. So yeah, it's so repetitive. And you know me, I'm so ADD that my brain's like, what the fuck? What's going on? So yeah, I mean, you know, make the best of it. Come in and do the job, get the job done. But I have had I had a manager tell me, one of the directors, my manager, one of the directors was saying that he walked by and he was like, is Mike bored? Because he's just staring at his screen. And I was like, that's my whole fucking job, is to just stare at the screen and look at what's on this screen. Like, what else do you expect me to do? So, yeah. And then I've also like joked around and pulled the race card. Like I'm be looking down at my paperwork and people think I'm asleep. I'm like, no, my eyes are just like I'm looking down at like my keyboard and people think I'm just napping. But you know.
I just say it because if my eyes were closed in class, Mr. Perez, I'm praying.
Yeah. I'm praying that I'm going to make it through this class. But other than that, man, yeah, work. I mean, I feel like work is going to be an annoyance for everybody, right? Yeah. Like work is, unless you're doing something that you absolutely love, work is going to be just that. It's going to be your day to day. It's going to be either you make the best of it or not. Other than that, everything's been cool, man. Everything's been good. Went to Idlewild this weekend. That was fun.
Dang.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like Idlewild.
Idlewild's pretty cool, man. Got some rocks. We got to see we've got to see Martin play. Got to see Cross Control play.
Oh yeah. That was fun.
Which he pointed out, he's like, it's interesting that you guys are coming to watch me play, and for the first time I'm not like either in a band or playing with one of you two. So that was interesting. That was kind of cool. And I got okay. If you guys haven't checked out Cross Control, I'm not just saying this because this is our friend, obviously. If you guys haven't checked out Cross Control rips. They're a really fucking good hardcore band, right? But the most gangster shit happened at that show. Their guitar player, who's also named Mike, correct?
Yeah.
So Mike was playing, and like maybe one or two songs before they finished their set.
Yeah, second to last song.
He just fell. He just fell on the ground and like in pain. And apparently, so Martin explained this to me. He used to play soccer and like blew out his knee. Soccer, I think.
Yeah.
Soccer. So he blew out his knee. And at the show, he was playing and his knee popped out of socket. He collapsed. He fell on the ground. Everybody's like, oh, fuck. Helped him up. And he was like, one more song. I'll just sit down. Like one more song and we'll fucking go. Like, whatever.
They brought him one of the stools and
he just sat on the stool and then just ripped that last song. And then afterwards, I guess he was like loading out his gear and it popped back into place. He's like, oh, I'm good. Like, and then he was fine. Damn. But it was gangster. I was like, oh man, this is fucking hard. This is cool.
And so from my end, I don't know. I was looking somewhere else. I just saw him like kind of crash back into his cab. And I thought he was just like, oh, the power of the rock. threw him back into his amp. And then when he wasn't getting up, then I was just like, oh, I think something real happened.
It's a real deal. Yeah.
And what's kind of funny is, I was like kind of talking with him, and I was just kind of being funny about it, but I was like, old soccer injury. He's like, yeah, actually. I was like, oh, okay, sick. He's like, yeah, we tore this and that. I was like, oh shit. I was like, okay.
Oh.
Yeah. But
this is no longer funny to me anymore.
Yeah. No, but I got him water. I made up for it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it was cool. It was funny because Martin was like, yeah, dude, you should come out. And I was like, well, yeah, I'm going to be there. He's like, cool. Our set is 16 minutes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's sick.
I mean, it was not a long set, but I felt like it went. Like, I didn't feel like it was like rushed. I didn't feel like it was like, I don't know, too short, I guess. I don't know. And
their lead singer is like such a big guy. He's so intimidating.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't even like jumping around like crazy or getting all aggressive, but I was just still like, man, you're big, dude. Yeah. Like you're tall.
Yeah. I like them. I'm a fan of how he writes too.
Yeah.
Some lyrics and stuff. Yeah, it was a cool show. Even the band before them, the Arson Choir.
Yes.
Is what they're called.
Yeah.
They're cool. They're like, Adrian said he reminded them of almost like an Every Time I Die kind of band, which I can see that. But I thought they did well too. It was cool. It was nice. I'm kind of bummed that, one of us wasn't. It's just weird. Yeah, it's weird that none of us were like not playing.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But
what did you guys end up doing after the show? Because I took off right after the show. The lady had she'd been at a wedding beforehand and had been drinking at the wedding, and then she actually left the wedding early to come hang with us. So I was like, oh, I mean, you don't have to do that, but that's cool. So she came out, and then we proceeded to drink more, and then I think it all just hit her at once.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's funny. She's like, everyone get home safe. We're like, you get home safe. Dude, okay, so what happened after the show? Mm-hmm. This is what happened after the show. So first, we went to Fat Burger, which...
delicious. Did you add the egg?
Dude, I haven't had Fat Burger since the Devon days.
Really?
Yeah.
Not even the one over here in downtown. Is the one in downtown Riverside still there?
I don't know. I never go. Dude, their sweet potato fries were so good.
Do you add the egg?
No.
You gotta add the egg.
I'll try it. I don't think I've ever had egg on a burger.
Really?
Yeah.
You know who else adds an egg to the burger is the church. Stone Church.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Have we eaten there? I don't think we've eaten there. Have we? Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Never mind.
The burger's delicious.
Yeah. But
the fries are cooked in beef fat. They're cooked in beef tallow. Oh, it's so good.
I think that was like one of the days where I was like super under the weather or like allergies or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was so good. And so my buddy met up with us. He got there like after the show, my buddy Justin. And so it was Adrian, Martin, Jesse, my buddy Justin, and myself. We all went to Fat Burger. But then afterwards, we went back to Union, and I've never heard of MXC.
Really?
I'd never seen it. And if I did, I don't remember it at all, which I can't imagine not remembering that show.
Really?
Dude, so I was just watching on TV and it was hilarious. Even though I wasn't listening, I couldn't hear anything because they're playing just regular music. And so I'm watching this and I don't know, I kind of came up. So he's like, dude, have you not seen this before? And I was like, no. They're like, you've never seen, And so they eventually killed the music and then just ran. They just played the show.
Yeah.
Dude, that show is so... So you know the show Wipeout?
Yes.
I can't watch that in front of people.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I do like the weird... Like, I can't help I like laugh so hard when I watch that shit.
Well, MXC was like the OG for all those shows. Like,
yeah.
That was like what set. And for those of you guys who have never seen MXC, MXC is like the old Japanese reality show where there's obstacles. And like the whole point was similar to Wipeout where people would just get like beat up by all these obstacles. And like
it's so funny. And then, so I'm laughing at just the craziness of it.
Yeah.
And then they put the audio and it was just like brand new. Oh my gosh. It was so ridiculous. Dude, okay. Just like one of the events is like, so there's this like wall. And so they have to do tug of war with whatever's on the other side, but they have like 5 options. And so you pick a rope and then you just go and hope for the best. And so like behind one door will be like a tiny little pig. Mm-hmm. So if you get that one, you're obviously gonna like win. But then like on the other side, they had like a tractor. They had like a person on a horse or whatever. Yeah. They had this like, they call it, what is it, like the world's largest cheerleader, like this small little Japanese girl. And like it was, I don't know, just that's not probably the best example, but all the commentary that goes with it. I feel like I was cheated out of all these years of watching that show.
Was MXC the one where they would have the walls coming at you and it would have the different body shapes? And you had to conform your body to like the different shapes that were on the wall. So just a wall sliding at you like full speed, and you have to like, some of you have to like jump and like spread your legs up, like arms and legs up, so that you make it through the hole.
Oh my gosh!
And if you don't, you hit it and just go like fall backwards into the water.
Oh my goodness!
Or there was the one where you did you see the boulder climb one?
I don't think so.
Where you basically they have to climb up this like, or they have to run basically up a slope, and there's like obstacles. And I think that it's either water or it's like petroleum jelly, like lubricated basically, while you're trying to climb up this thing. And then there's just a giant boulder that comes barreling down that you have to like avoid, or it'll just take people out and they'll just go flying.
Oh my god!
That show, yeah. That show was the basis for all those shows like Wipeout and things like that, like the mud runs with obstacle challenges. And like that. Yeah.
Oh my god! It's just because they're like, it's something about like, for me, like people they'll be like, oh, it's like Ninja Warrior. I'm like, no, it's not. Ninja Warrior is like trained.
Yeah, Ninja Warrior is like a legit, like, I'm in the best shape of my life.
Yeah, like that stuff's cool. I can watch Ninja Warrior for like, I can watch 3 contestants until I'm like, okay, I get it. You guys are all,
I get it,
freaks of nature. But there's something about watching an average person just get wrecked doing the most random,
and
like,
their little intros, like right before they go.
Oh yeah, it's so funny. I'm sure like some of it now doesn't fly because it's like,
some of it is totally unacceptable.
Yeah,
in today's.
It's, oh my gosh, it's so freaking funny. What was one of them? Pet peeves was like, it's a dry humping, which is like, oh my god, like. Anyway, so that's what we did. Like,
you guys just stayed at Brandon's pretty much.
Yeah, and it sucked because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna, I need to get out of here.
Did Ty and everybody hang, or did they take off?
No, Ty left. Ty didn't even go to Fat Burger.
Really?
Ty?
Where did you go, Ty?
Where did he go? I feel like he had somewhere he had to go. But yeah, I needed to go home because I had to work the next day. But like I stayed longer because I wanted to watch the stupid show. So funny. And then of course when I got home I had to watch it again and found it on YouTube. But
dude, at the show there was a moment where it's hilarious. So I'm standing at the back by the bar. I'm watching one of the bands play. I don't know if it was Cross Control or somebody else. And like Karima like grabs my hand, right? And I'm like, oh, okay. And then Jesse comes in out of nowhere and grabs my other hand. And then like, dude, it was like holding a bear paw.
I know.
Like,
He's got massive hands, dude.
There's so much meat on Jesse's hand. I was like, this is oddly calming. Like there's.
I feel like a child when I like shake his hand or I go just even give him a little.
Yeah.
It's like
what's up, dog?
Yeah, that's funny.
Dude, did I ever tell you the story about when I met Suge Knight?
No.
I met Suge Knight in LA because I was going to school for audio engineering, and there's a reason why this story came up. So I was going to school, and what we would do, our floor, it was SAE, Institute of Technology, School of Audio Engineering, Institute of Technology. We had the bottom floor off of Sunset Boulevard, and then the floors above us were all, there was like a couple porn advertising sites, and then there was 51 Minds, the celebrity VH1 headquarters, right? So we met Bret Michaels there when he was filming like Rock of Love. Like I remember we were, so what we would do is we'd in between like, you pretty much like had a class and then you could book studio time all day there. Right? So if one of us didn't have a studio booked, we were just hanging out with our friends. And so there'd be a lounge area, and their only thing was like if you're gonna like smoke or drink beer or anything like that, you do it outside in the garage.
Oh, okay.
So we'd go out to the garage, there's like a lounge area, we'd drink beers and smoke and stuff like that. And I remember one day we're sitting around and this other dude, Mike, like I had my back toward the parking lot, and Mike was talking to me, and he just goes, "Holy shit, Poison fucking rules!" And then I turned around and I look at it's Bret Michaels. He's like, "Yeah!" And then he came over and said, "What's up to us?" We're like, "What's up, dude?" So, yeah. Anyway, so we're sitting outside, and we're all like, everybody smoking cigarettes or weed or whatever, just like right by the door that walks in. And we see like coming from the parking structure, just these massive dudes, right? And so I just see like security in front, big ass guy, and then in the middle is Suge Knight. Holy shit, it's Suge Knight, dude. Damn. So I was like, I looked at him and I was like, "Oh man, what's up, Suge?" Right? He's like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And he went to shake my hand, dude. He shook my hand and his fucking hand wrapped around my shit twice. It was like he shook my hand and then his fingers went all the way around and like grasped his own hand. I was just like, I'm a child. I have no right to be shaking your hand right now. It's crazy.
That's how I felt when I shook Zoli from Ignite's hand. Yeah. I felt like I just reached like just halfway. I felt like I was just like
you're just not even making like when a baby grabs your finger type thing.
Yeah. I was like, oh, a man's hand. But that's cool.
So we did have some other cool shit happen this week in between last show and this show. So about 8 years ago, Mike did a cover. No, I'm just kidding.
It was a while ago.
It's probably a year ago. I feel like I've had that song on my phone for a really long time.
Dang, maybe. Yeah. Actually, yeah.
So Mike did a cover song with a band from Germany. Set Your Sails.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a cover of Shallow, the Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper song from A Star Is Born, which is a certified banger in and of itself. But when they covered it, they did it correctly and gave Mike all the girl parts. Which is
they gave me. I do Bradley's part in the very beginning.
Yeah,
and then after that, I'm pretty much doing
all the Lady Gaga parts. So this cover has been kind of like a year in the making, and the music video finally dropped for it last week.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been cool as shit.
Yeah,
it was cool to see it. First off, the song was dope, and then to see like the music video come together, to see Jay Pash working on it, just to see all of it. it's cool.
Yeah, like thankful. So they're in Germany, and so like
We're in Riverside.
I'm so thankful that like I mean, and Joe is like he's real deal, man. Like seeing what he's been working on and how his just knowledge of just gear and stuff. I didn't realize he was like a gearhead even before this stuff, like computer tech. Like I was.
I feel like sometimes when me and Joe nerd out on gear, you just
I tune out. 100%.
completely tune out.
I've learned there's just some things I just don't even like. I'm just like
You just go somewhere else.
get on my phone or something. But so like they had sent the treatment,
Okay.
and then they had put some stuff in there like make sure, or can you guys film at this frames, or can you guys use this lighting or this and that. And so I was like, dude, I hope Joe sees this and understands. And sure, yeah, he's like, oh yeah, I know what that is. Like this makes sense. And so it's cool. I felt like it was pretty seamless. Like, even though we filmed ours in Riverside, I felt like it fits in the video, like my part.
Yeah.
But it's cool, man. Like Joe does good work, and the setup, I think, for everything is what takes the longest. Mm-hmm. The actual filming, I feel like we didn't go through it a whole lot.
Yeah.
And I thought it came out cool. I like how I look in other people's music videos than I do in my own. But actually, that's not. I think Tim did an awesome job for the No Bragging Rights videos.
Yeah,
but
videos are good. You definitely have some older videos that are cool.
I don't, dude. This isn't
interesting.
Not a knock to like anyone like Josh or any of the other guys who filmed our other videos. I just personally, for myself, and how I've never liked how I look in the videos. I would much rather have like.
I don't like the way I look on camera. Period. I don't even like this.
Same.
But we do it for you guys. We do it for all 8 of you.
Yeah. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool. I was so excited. Like I'm genuinely rooting for this band. Like I feel like they have such a high ceiling for what they do, and I think a lot of it, this is gonna sound so, I hope this doesn't sound bad, but like I think a lot of it is like their music sounds good, like the recordings are solid, the music writing is good, but I really do think Jules is like special in that her singing voice is just as strong and as cool as her scream. Yeah. And she has a hell of a voice, mm-hmm. and her scream is like it's intense, it's aggressive. Yeah. And I think range is so good. Yeah, like dude, yeah. And I think like right now like Spirit Box is like big, mm-hmm. and there's like other. I feel like there's other like I don't know. I think hers is more. It sits in like the hardcore range rather than the more metal. Yeah, absolutely. Range. Courtney has this like Courtney is. How do I explain it? Her voice is beautiful when she's singing. Yeah. And then her screams sit higher than her voice does, mm-hmm. to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but like when she sings and then she screams, it sits like in a higher range. I feel like with Jules, she's singing and it also sounds equally as beautiful, but kind of in a lower like timbre. And then when she screams, the range gets bigger too. Mm-hmm. Like she can hit the lows. And she can still hit like really beefy fucking notes, you know what I mean? Yeah. And like there's a lot of female vocalists, mm-hmm. that when they scream, it tends to stay in one range. Right. Right? Like they're screaming, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Right. And it's also like that with just most vocalists yeah. But Jules has this way of like just listening, even if you just listen to like what she's doing in that cover, like mm-hmm. There's definitely like a lot of range that she has in there that's like, oh, this is sick. I feel like I've said range like 38 times in that sentence, but Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I'm pretty hypercritical of any band that has singing and screaming. Yeah. Like I appreciate both and I respect both, and I think it's really cool when bands do that and or vocalist does that. And if they're strong enough to do it. Live.
Yeah.
She's I love her. I guess in that song is such a great example of like a lot of what she can do, and like, and you know, in a fun song like that. But her clean, I like her cleans in that.
Mm-hmm.
They're like gritty, like I don't know. But
Jules, come get on the show. We'll get her.
We'll get her on. We'll get her on. A big reason I'll save a lot of what I'm about, like the conversations, hopefully when we get her on. But when they reached out to me to do the song, I didn't know who they were. I hadn't heard of them, and so it was like a pretty cold reach out, you know, and so you know, musically, have I just heard the song and been like, oh dang, this is already like, they sent me basically a finished recording of the song, and I was like, dude, and they had, I think their guitar player did the vocals on it.
You're like, why do you need me for this?
Yeah, I was like, you guys don't need me for this. Like, it already sounded like awesome. And so I was already down, but then they had tagged, because their manager reached out to me, but then they included Jules in the messaging, and she kind of gave me a rundown on what cycles our album did for her and her a stage in her life, you know. And so that made it even more like, I was already in, and then hearing that I was like, oh dang, that's really cool. Yeah. So but yeah, hopefully we can get her on the show.
That'd be sick. We can make that happen.
We have one more thing coming that I'm doing with that band. One more thing, guys.
Little Moss.
One more. But yeah, so if you haven't yet, check out the video for Shallow. The band is Set Your Sails, all one word. Yeah, it's everywhere. It's on, obviously YouTube. But check it out. Let us know what you think.
Didn't you want to talk about
Oh yeah. So they're on they're currently, I think their tour may have just ended.
Okay.
But they've been on tour, and I think their second. No, this could be very wrong, but I think they're like night 2 into their tour, she like blew out her ankle basically on stage, and like bad, to the point where she has to have like a crutch thing on stage, but she's still doing it. And yeah, she tore things. She like tore.
That sucks.
I forget what it was, but you know, me trying to relate, and like trying to be encouraging. It's like one of those things where as I'm like typing it and saying it, I'm like realizing like, man, my injury was significantly less.
It was way less aggressive than this.
Yeah, dude, mine was so dumb. Mine was from like jumping in our first song. The first song of is like the first note basically is like I was trying to jump, like time to jump, and I just came down, you know, wrong, and I rolled my ankle. It was just a sprain. I just iced it after the show, and I was fine the next day. I was just yeah.
She's like, I tore a bunch of ligaments in my ankle, and you're like, yeah, this one time
I
rolled my ankle, and I needed ice.
It hurt real bad. It hurt real bad.
It hurt so bad I didn't know what to do.
But yeah. So anyway, I thought I was like trying to be like, yeah, you know, I too have.
Like, I too have been injured. I support you.
You can do this. No, but she did. She championed through it, and I think their tour just ended, or it's ending this week. But yeah, that was funny.
All right, let's see. We got some questions.
Oh, before we go into questions, I do have one thing kind of wanted to discuss that happened this week.
Well, you airdropped them to me, and now they're gone.
Oh, well, I can resend them. But so earlier this week, we saw in the news that Trevor, the vocalist from Black Dahlia murder, took his own life. And something that I'd been kind of like thinking about since hearing that, you know, earlier in the, has it been? Was it last summer about for Riley? Feels like it hasn't been that long.
Maybe. Well, I don't know because the flow of time has been way.
Yeah,
lately.
dude. Same. But Riley from Power Trip as well. But these are so the thing that I was thinking about is these are guys that are in successful bands,
Yeah.
and they're tied a lot to our genre. I don't know Bragging Rights. I don't think ever played with Black Dahlia, but I think I know we've seen them. I think we might have even done maybe. I think they might have been on the New England Metal and Hardcore Fest that we did.
Right.
But I mean, so all I'd say is I feel like, we hear about this kind of stuff and it hits home because it's really tied to the genre that we're exposed to.
Yeah. I mean, even though we're kind of in different genres and we're kind of in different, it's still all part of the same world.
Yeah.
Right. It's not uncommon for metal bands to cross over with hardcore bands. Mm-hmm. It's not uncommon for, basically all of us to be in the same circle,
And so, we heard about this because, these guys are, they're both vocalists pretty big in the scene as far as for our small world.
Yeah.
And so we obviously heard about it. And so for me, I'm just kind of thinking about who haven't we heard about? Just because maybe the band wasn't very big, maybe the band's not active, you know what I mean? But just guys in the scene.
Right.
I don't know, that kind of stuff. I don't know how to explain it. It really sets me. It gets me back. I don't know how to explain it. It gets me back into that mode of oh man, I wish I miss playing every night and talking like that because I felt like our small little contribution to to the scene, to the world, was I felt like we spoke a lot to the smaller bands. For us, I felt like that was something NBR did well. Was we spoke to the little, I felt like we were an encouragement to a lot of guys in the smaller scenes, the smaller towns. But
I was trying to find this. I actually had a video because I had seen years and years and years ago Black Dahlia Murder play with on this huge festival with Gwar. I'm pretty sure it was with Gwar and Aslay Dying and shit.
Oh, nice.
And I kept this video for the longest time of me and Mike Miller going to a metal show and both of us having long hair and then just us just holding the seat in front of us for every band that played it and just fucking headbanging. Doing the total metalhead thing. But I can't find it. I don't know where it's at. It just goes to show you, and I know people say this a lot, but it really is true. You really never know what somebody else is going through. You really never know what somebody else has going on in their lives and what's going on in their brains and what's going on in their minds. I have another May Mental Health Awareness Month post that I want to end with, but it kind of touches on that. One of the examples is don't go through your life thinking that other people are happier than you. Right? For us, semi-retired frontmen in bands, we look at somebody, like Riley, or we look at these bands where we're yo, these bands are huge. They're doing it. They're doing what we've always wanted to do, but you don't know the struggles that they have. So it sucks, man. It's tough.
Some of it. Again, we don't know the situation at all. I don't know him personally, but it could have been personal things. I don't know. Maybe this maybe had nothing to do with music, But I'm always curious to see I felt like for NBR the whole pandemic was a blessing for us in the sense that in a weird way it provided us this opportunity to write remotely just because it wasn't that odd, and then to release, it worked out for us, And also we weren't that affected by it because like we're not touring, you know? And so we weren't affected. And I felt very fortunate in that sense. Whereas, you know, I don't know the situation for Power Trip or Black Dahlia. I don't know if anything that went into what happened played into the situation of that the world found itself in, where music stopped. You know, I know we had a lot of friends in the industry that lost their job, and they had a real tough time during the pandemic because they had no work. And so, you know, and just, I don't know, I guess all this to say, I wonder, you know, we're kind of seeing some bad, fallout from something like that. Like all these lives being impacted from not being able to do what they, you know, were normally able to do. Like I try to put myself when MBR was like grinding and like, that's all we were doing. It's all we knew. And then to have all that stop and be taken away and like have that momentum gone.
It'd be devastating.
It'd be devastating, you know, and we weren't a big band, but that would have been devastating for us, you know?
And also just to clarify, with Riley, it wasn't suicide. He died from toxic effects of fentanyl. Accidental.
Okay.
So, you know, take what you will out of that, but I just figured we should put the facts out there. So we're not just, you know, but yeah.
But yeah, so it's just, I don't know. It's, there's everybody, not just music. I mean, we talk about music because it's something we, you know, that's been the world that we were part of and stuff. But so many people have been impacted by this, and you know, there's been some cool success stories that have come out of the pandemic, and I felt like, you know, for different people, like, you know, they were able to start a new career, or they were able to, you know, go in on their education, or they were able to, you know, an opportunity came out of this weird like reset, I guess, which it felt like. But yeah, it's just sad. And you know, hopefully, you know, when stuff like this happens, I feel like as sad as it is, and as awful as it is, you know, hopefully this has some reach, and this impacts somebody who might be going through, you know, might be in a tough place, you know, and maybe this kind of thing is something that shows them that, you know, they're not alone in how they feel, you know, regardless of what it is, no matter whatever your walk of life is. You know, I thought Robin Perez, the Robin Williams thing was so sad to me, but at the same time, I felt like that really changed the discussion I felt with mental health, depression, suicide. You know, I felt like his passing really brought a light to it because of who he was. You know, everyone knew he was the funny guy, and it kind of showed you that, like, you don't know what somebody's going through. You really don't know. And I thought it kind of, I felt like, for as sad as it was, I felt like it did a lot for bringing awareness to, you know, a subject that's not very, that's very uncomfortable to talk about, and not very, you know, still has a lot of stigma tied to it.
And I think for him too, it also, that brings light to more of like the common man's eyes. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because that's such a huge public figure. It's such a huge, you know, like, oh, you would never expect that.
Right.
And then here it is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's never an easy subject to talk about. It's never an easy subject to, I guess, bring up and discuss, because for one, you know, like, you don't know the thoughts in somebody's head before any of this happens. No matter what it is, whether it's an OD, whether it's suicide, whether it's, you know, an accidental suicide, or it's like pre-planned, you know, like the thought process is something that I don't think we're meant to understand. You know, I think you can understand hitting that low, or being in that place, or feeling that way, right? but you'll never fully understand exactly that person's struggles, right? And unless they have told you and they've talked to you about it before, only the people closest to them would really know. And that's what makes it even worse is that there's not like, I think one of the things that when it comes to suicide is a lot of the family is going to start to feel guilt, and they're going to start to feel like you're always going to feel like, well, there could have been something more that I did. There could have been something more that I've said or could have been there more, I mean, I know you even said you felt that way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can't be there through everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you at the same time, you can't, that decision was made regardless of whether you were there or not.
Right.
And I'm trying to find like the softest way to say that, but I don't think there really is one. You know, like once that decision is made, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to go through with it. It also takes a lot to stop it.
Yeah. And I think the to try to bring some kind of I don't like saying positivity or something like this, but I think conversations get started with stuff like this, and hopefully it leads to just more awareness, more education to stuff like this. It sounds so. I feel like at least with us, it feels so cliche to keep saying that like this is real. This is a real thing that people go through, and it's not just. Like you said, like we probably won't ever understand. We don't understand what someone's going through. Some people have been to those lows and have known what it's like to not be. I for me when I try to explain it, I just say you're not yourself when you're there. Like I refer back to my buddy Brian where he would tell me when he would reach out to me, it was usually when he was kind of out of it, like he was good, he was like mentally, like he would tell me I don't want to take my life, I want to be here for my daughter, I don't want to do this,
right?
But when yesterday or whenever it was, he's like, that's all I wanted to do, it's all I could think about, and so it's just like we don't know what someone's going through, and for anyone who has lost somebody, not to be like not in a defeatist way. It's like, you can't get that back, but I feel like there's always opportunities to maybe you can honor that person, or you can just maybe help someone else by I think just learning on your own, like by having discussions with people, finding different ways to help, or even just educating yourself, whether you understand what's that world at all, right? You don't have to be suicidal or depressed to like help. Like you don't have to know or be all those things. Like just, you can take an interest, you can educate yourself, and I just wish more people would just kind of talk. 'Cause that's the big thing I ran into this too. Just feeling not feeling qualified to speak. Not feeling like you're going to have the right things to say, or you don't want to offend someone because you don't know. That's the other thing I've been hearing too. Like, hey, how do I approach my friend? He's said this, but he acts like he's like fine, right? Like, am I gonna offend him if I check on him? Am I gonna offend him if I ask about this, or like, and like, I don't think there's a true right answer to that, but I would lean on saying, dude, if even if he's not that, or whatever, him or her, even if they're not that, like, at least they know you're checking in.
Yeah, I think we've said this before on another episode. Like, if you guys are genuinely friends, you know, they're gonna realize that you're looking out for them.
Yeah.
They're gonna realize it's not coming from a place of like malice or trying to make them feel some sort of way or trying to make them feel less than,
right.
like that. Like it's genuinely like, you know, it could even just be something simple like, hey man, are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, whatever. It's like a, you know, it's sometimes it's just the littlest thing, and it's the littlest reaching out to just say like, you know, hey man, like what's going on? Is everything cool?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then like if you're genuinely like you're really close with people, I've been at that point where I've been like, hey man, you said some shit that like kind of made me worried. You know, like, or you've been saying some, you know, some things that are like off that are not you. Like, is everything cool? And then if you're, I feel like it's a good time to say it. Like if you are on the other side of that, like if you're feeling suicidal, if you're feeling like you have like these, like just really strong inclinations towards that, like I'm going to give the suicide prevention lifeline number, the 800-273-8255. Because it's 24 hours, 24 hours, somebody's there to talk to you. You know, like there is somebody to help you if you're feeling this way. And I also completely understand that that's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that. But like make that call. You know what I mean? Like, so not like we had this meeting. I'm not going to go fully in depth into it because half of it was dumb, but the other half of it, like, you know, there's a lot of like, and this kind of ties back to people talking to their friends, right? Especially now, like with the generations now, like we're in a world of like where we're scared of everything and we also want instant gratification, right? So like we're in this scenario where like we're afraid that anything we do or say is going to either trigger somebody or it's going to hurt somebody or it's going to cause problems, whatever, right? Same with people talking to us. Like we've reached a point, you know, especially with people that are younger than us where, oh shit, if they talk to me, it's going to be a bad thing. Or if somebody comes at me and tries to, you know, correct me or change things, it's going to be a bad thing, right? Whereas like sometimes even just the littlest thing like, hey man, you know, like you doing okay? Hopefully you're doing okay, whatever. Just that small little action will start a snowball effect to where somebody will go like, oh, they asked me how I was doing and it was okay to talk about it. Even if it's just a little thing like, yeah, I'm good. But then they go, hey, I survived that. I survived that interaction. I survived that talk. Maybe it's cool if I talk about it a little bit more, right? So even just the smallest like, yo, you good? You okay? Is everything cool? You know, things like that. Even though you might not get a response right away, like you're like slowly chipping away at a barrier in a wall that is going to help people kind of open up a little bit more. And, you know, like, especially with people that have like heavy anxiety or they're, you know, they can't open up or they can't talk to people, like it's a slow burn. Like they're not just going to open up to you right away. They're not just going to just be like, okay, well, here's how I'm feeling. You know, I'm really bad at it. I'm really bad at opening up my fucking emotions and shit.
Yeah. Same.
But, you know, like just slowly, just even just like, oh man, I'm there for you. Or I'm here for you. You know, I got your back, you know, whatever. A little bit goes a long way.
Yeah. And it can be easy. Like there's like, yeah, I feel like for as toxic as social media can be, I've found it helpful in some ways where people will be very like, you know, depending on what they post, you can kind of, you know, if I see something, I'll just send them a message and I'll just say, hey, I saw your post. Just want to check in, see how you're doing. Yeah. Or like, hey, are you good? Like I saw this post, like, you know, because, and, you know, I don't know. I think for myself, whenever I get nervous about reaching out to someone, and this is me speaking personally for myself, so I know that like this is easier said than done. But for myself, when I get nervous or I'm like, I don't want to, I'm gonna look weird. I don't want to, I don't, then I think it will.
Yeah.
And so for me, that just makes it I'm just like, no, I'm willing to look, I'm willing to embarrass myself, you know, or at least in my own head, what embarrassing myself would be like. I'm willing to do that. You know, I'd rather know if they're like, oh yeah, no, this is just for this. All right, cool. And if nothing else, there's the little door's been open and they at least know that, hey, someone saw that and they cared. Or, oh man, maybe I should, you know, I was touched by, I put a quote on I tweeted out, I can't remember, I tweeted out or maybe I put it on Instagram, but it was that song, I'm out by the lake.
I'm parked out by the lake.
Yeah. Miles from Santa Fe. And it's a song that just keeps repeating. It's a stupid song that keeps repeating.
If you guys haven't heard it, look it up.
And so all I put was I'm out by a lake, you know, 40 miles or 80 miles from Santa Fe. Just because it's funny. The song is hilarious. But I was moved because I had friends that were like, yo, you good?
Yeah.
Because they thought like I'd driven out and I was 80 miles. You know what I mean?
For what it's worth, I would have asked you too, but I showed you that song.
Yeah. And so I didn't even think about that, but I remember even just that. I remember thinking like, "Oh, that dude, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm okay. It's just, I'm sorry, my bad. This is
my bad.
Stupid.
It's a really funny song."
Yeah. So I'll have to say, make that risk of embarrassing yourself if it means you're checking up on someone you care about. So
I can promise you that you've probably done way more embarrassing shit in your life than that. So 100%. 100%. All right. So Renee had sent in a question, but I'm going to be honest. I want Renee to come in and talk about this.
Ooh, okay.
I want Renee to come in and be on the show. If you guys don't know Renee, and you guys haven't seen her pop in the lives, or you haven't heard her nice rambling long questions, Renee is Mike's ex-coworker. Mm-hmm. And she does have like a wealth of knowledge and life experience, and I want her to come in and be on the show and talk about it. Mm-hmm. And she had sent in a question, not really a question, but just kind of like a topic of non-suicidal self-harm. And
interesting.
I want her to come in and talk about this, and talk about her experiences and kind of like, like really dive into it that way. Maybe next episode.
We can. She'll come.
I think we make that happen. Renee. Yeah. So we're gonna save that. We did have a couple other questions, probably not as serious as what we've just talked about.
Yeah.
But let's see here. Now all I have is I'm parked out by the lake, 80 miles from Santa Fe.
I also got a couple response from.
You want to read off these questions then? Let's get at it.
Okay, so we will go.
Or you want me to read them?
I can read them. So one of the questions I put out was, what has been your coping mechanism for this month? This month being Mental Health Awareness Month, and the responses I got for that. Ginger Pirate writes, swimming laps. Haven't done it in forever, and it's been a saving grace. That sounds awesome, especially with how hot it's been out here.
I wish I had the stamina to swim more than one lap.
I wish I had the body to go out and
listen,
the public pool.
Listen, I've seen seals and manatees do this. I think we can do it too.
Fair. Ren, my buddy Ren. Ren Conley writes, cliche, but one day at a time. Just get through this one day. That's all you got to do.
That's fair.
Good. Moon Thought, who is Jolka, our favorite.
Jolka. What's up, homie?
He put working.
Cool.
I don't know if you knew this, but he works at a salon. He's a hair.
It makes sense why he's so much prettier than everybody else.
True.
Yep.
Style is much better. He had offered to cut our buddy Brian, who got married. He offered to cut his hair, and stuff and trim them up. And he didn't realize that he was doing it for his wedding. So when he realized, like, oh shoot, I'm cutting his hair and cleaning him up for his wedding, he's like, I started freaking out, man. I was like getting like anxiety.
That day will live on forever.
Yeah.
In pictures. Kristen LaRue.
Mm-hmm. She put coffee, beer, coffee.
Fair. New mom.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not really a new mom, but yeah, new mom. New baby, at least.
Damn it, Anthony responds with gym time and then guitar and bass.
Damn it, Anthony. Damn it, Bobby.
Sold out beats. Listening to soothing frequencies and trying to stay present / grateful. Ooh, I like that.
Interesting. Soothing frequencies like...
Yeah, I was going to ask what...
Like lo-fi beats or soothing frequencies like, I'm just going to put on a 40 hertz tone.
Yeah.
You never know.
And then, let's see. Ginger the Reeler. Quitting my pandemic job and pursuing my dreams again despite being broke.
Fuck yeah.
Dude, hell yeah.
Been there.
Yeah. All right, this one. And then, there's not many left. And then I put, I put mental health check, where you at?
Sick.
And sorry guys,
technology is really messing with your boy Perez over here.
Found it.
You guys get to all watch him struggle live on.
All right, so mental health check, where you at? Ginger Pirate, not well, but getting a little better each day. Love the honesty. Rin, not good, but managing to hide it like 90% of the time. I relate to that. Jesse Toka, the Jesse. I'm feeling better. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Good, man.
Good for you, man.
And then, damn it, Anthony said, fucking garbage.
That's fair, too.
Yeah, appreciate the honesty. And then just the last one was question or topic we should talk about. Ginger Pirate writes, confidence issues in men.
Oh, that's a whole episode that we need to do. You should screenshot that though.
Okay. Yeah, I'll screenshot all these. Rin writes, physical effects that mental health can have on you. Seems like many people don't know. That is so true. You know, people. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but
good luck.
You know, the big push for like coping mechanisms, self-care days and things like that. You know, when you carry stress, it has a physical effect on you. You know, it can make your heart work harder. It has physical, like feeling anxious, all these things, people think, oh, just whatever. It's just how I feel. I can tough through it. Yeah, you can, but also like there's effects to this, like we're starting to see now, like people who are having heart attacks younger, a lot of it, they realize it's, it's because it's unchecked.
Anxiety.
Yeah. So that's a great question, Ren. Kristen, conspiracy theories.
There's a new show coming soon called Mike Questions Everything. We're gonna lose half of our family.
Well, dude, I'm gonna end up. That's gonna make me fucking single for the rest of my life.
I like the next question too.
Jesse asks, "Is the Earth flat?"
Michael,
that's a great question, Jesse.
I'll let you take this one, Michael.
That was a great question. Jesse also asks, Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial. Ooh,
there's a lot to unpack on that one too. Yeah.
Yeah. One of my things, mind you, I there's obviously a lot of layers to this, but jokingly, my thing is like, I don't care because
she's still so hot.
Well, and it's just like, one, Johnny Depp, what did you expect? Dating someone half your age. That's like, clearly, I don't know. I doubt everybody was telling him like, oh, she's, this is going to work out great, man.
Yeah.
And then for her, I don't feel bad for her because like, what did you think dating someone like Johnny Depp? Like, I don't know. I don't feel
bad for either of them. If I'm being completely honest, because there's just so much toxicity on both sides.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
We could really dive further into it.
Yeah, we can do, we can definitely I can take it serious and dive in.
Yeah.
I think when it's stuff like this, it's very easy, and I'm talking for myself clearly because I can joke at other people's expense in this because they're celebrities and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, they are real people. And, again, I don't know their situation. Maybe it was love. Maybe they really did have that love. And then,
I just think that like, obviously what they're looking at in this trial right now is it's not what happened in the relationship, right? We're no longer looking at
this is like the defamation.
This is the defamation trial, which in this case, if we're looking at it strictly from that standpoint, Johnny's got a good foot to stand on this.
Yeah.
Because now everything is coming out, right? About, like there's okay. And I have to tread this carefully. Yeah. There's definitely something very positive that came out of like the Me Too movement, and that came out of like obviously bringing into light all the scumbags, all the shitty practices, all the dirt bags, like that's and having everybody come forward, tell their stories, like that's
the great side of it. Yeah,
that's the great side of things. But just like every movement or thing that happens, or a cultural revolution, whatever it is, there are going to be the people that take advantage of it, right? There are going to be people there's also people that stand so that they want to be involved with something so strongly that, and this is part of cancel culture, right? They want to be involved. They want to make a statement. They want to make a name, and fuck all the rest of the facts. Okay, this person's a piece of shit. We're going to rally behind them being a piece of shit. And then people like Johnny Depp lost his career essentially.
Yeah. Lost opportunities and stuff.
And like, yeah, I'm sure that there was wrongdoing on his part. I'm sure of it. Like, but at the same time, like, it blows my mind that the same people that like a year, 2 years ago were like, oh, fuck Johnny Depp, he's a piece of shit, are now like, oh man, Johnny was right. Yeah, fuck.
It's like, no, dude, your oops has consequences.
Yeah, that oops was
damaging, man.
And like, and this kind of comes with that territory of any debate, any stand, like any hill that you're willing to die on. Like, are you really willing to die on this hill, or is just this something that's just trending right now and you want to jump on? Right. And so now, like I said, like I do think that there was wrongdoing on both sides in the marriage. I'm sure that there was abuse in both sides of the marriage. But the defamation case, strictly from the defamation standpoint, it's a good thing. Yeah. Because I think this is eye-opening to a lot of people that they're saying like, oh shit, there's two sides to every story, which is something that we've lost track of, right? Like, I'm a very middle ground person. I always like to see both sides of things. And it's very rare that I take a very strong stance on things.
Yeah, same.
Mind you, there are some things that I will always take a very strong stance on, know, right? But I feel like most of those are very like human issues. Yeah. Right. But I think that this is, like I said, this is good in a sense that now people are kind of like, it's opening their eyes. And then right now it's trendy to be on Johnny Depp's side. So there's so many people on Johnny Depp's side that you're like, well, a couple of years ago you were like,
yeah, funny how that changes.
Fuck Jack Sparrow. And now you're like, oh, give him the job back.
Yeah. And people are so complex, and like we, for better or for worse, we can be both.
Yeah.
You know, like the Chris D'Elia thing. You know, it's like, yeah, like he did some scumbag things, but like he did, yeah, it wasn't what everyone was making it out to be. Once they realized that like it wasn't, because the big thing was obviously like, oh, he was grooming underage girls and he's doing all this stuff, and it's like what they found was that he was being a scumbag while he was in a relationship, right?
Yeah,
and
what they found was that. So these girls, he'd talk to these girls, find out they weren't 18,
mm-hmm.
and then distance himself until they turned 18, right? Like,
yeah.
So it was always that fine line of like, is it still gross?
Yeah, kind of. I mean,
probably.
Yeah.
You know, but is it within the confines of the law? Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't have to like it or agree with them, but
true.
It's like
right, like. It's kind of like the concept of like, you'd see the older bachelors with like a much younger girl type thing, and people are like, oh, how do you do that? She's your daughter's age, right? But at the same time, like at that point in time, and I'm not defending anybody, at that point in time, that's a consensual relationship, right? Whether you agree with it or not, whether it's morally correct or not,
right?
If it's a consensual relationship and that you have two adults, no matter the age gap, that's a consensual relationship. Mm-hmm. If it truly is a consensual relationship, right? Whereas like it would be a different story if it was like, oh, here's this 17-year-old, 16-year-old, 15-year-old, 14-year-old, and then I'm just keeping them around until they turn 18. Like that's grooming to me. And I could be wrong. Like if I'm wrong, tell me, explain to me why.
Yeah.
But just looking at it like from like that standpoint of like, here it is what it is. Would I have done it? No. I like you've been around and like I've dated people and talked to people that were like considerably younger than me, and I'm like, yo, they're like they're in their 20s and I'm in my 30s type thing, and I'm like, is this too much of an age gap type thing? So like the thought of being like 40 and going for an 18-year-old blows my mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess it really just, and that's where we have to decide, like, are we allowed to basically end somebody's career and their livelihood because you think what they're doing is morally incorrect versus whether it's legal?
Yeah.
Like that's the weird territory everything goes into. And it's weird waters navigating it all. Yeah. Like I'm sure somebody could just clip what I said and chop it all up and be like, "Yeah, I like kids," but like that's not.
Well, the whole. I think just in general, I think the whole. Right now, I think just the world of comedy is so fascinating because of that. Because there's so much, there's comics that purposely will try to shock and offend, and I don't know. It's just really interesting. The whole Dave Chappelle thing is super interesting. Dave Chappelle said something. This is kind of going into what we were just talking about, how people can be both. Dave Chappelle, in one of his old stand-ups, he was talking about how if he were to meet one of the founding fathers, he would be like, his wife would be like, oh, there's, Jefferson or whoever, or George Washington, one of the founding fathers, and how it'd be awesome to see because of what they've done. And then for Dave Chappelle, he'd be like, the slave owners run, like, and it's like, and they're both right. Yeah. And so it's just, yeah, people are complex. There's a lot of,
I think one of the things that we've lost over the years, which has always been like a really big thing for me, is that I have so many friends and we have so many people that we talk to and interact with where we all have different viewpoints. We all have different stances on things. We all have different ideas and definitions of what we think is correct in life, or whatever, right? But we've lost the ability to agree to disagree. Right. Like, I mean, you and I have been close friends, but I'm sure there's some things that we don't see eye to eye on. For the most part, we do. Yeah. But there's some things probably like, that we probably aren't like completely level on, but at the same time, it's like, oh, you feel that way? I actually think of one right now, and it's about the Earth. But you know, it's like one of those things.
Mike's crazy, guys, but I keep him around.
It's one of those things where like we're losing the ability, and I don't know if this is just because everybody has such a strong opinion on shit online, and it's my opinion and end all be all, but like we've lost the ability to agree to disagree. Like you could still be friends and not have the exact same belief system. You can still be, you know.
Do you think it's because because of like smartphones and stuff, we feel like, oh, we are so qualified and we're so like do you think people feel like they're the word is like they're so like
there's so much power in their hands.
Yeah, or they just know like well, I read these 2 articles, so like I'm an authority on this.
I think that's part of it, but I also think that there's another aspect to that, right? Like every argument you can give me, if I'm playing devil's advocate, which I like to do a lot just because I like, you know, like you can pull up on your phone like, oh yeah, well, you know, the FDA banned this because of this, and I'll be like, yeah, but actually, if you look at this medical science journal, it shows that, you know, things like that. Like, there's always going to be opposing opinions. There's always going to be an argument as to one thing versus another. So, like, and this also goes back to like, what hill are you willing to die on? You know, like, is this something that you truly feel strong enough about that you're willing to put everything you have behind it? But it goes further than that. Are you willing to die on that hill? And then if you're ever proven wrong without a doubt, are you willing to accept that? Or are you just so stubborn that you're like, nope, fuck no, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I feel like that's where we're at. Like, what was that Mike Tyson quote? Like, people are so comfortable with talking shit on the internet that, you know, they don't realize that they can just get punched in the face. Like things like that. Like, I don't know. I think that we've definitely lost something in society where we don't have to agree on everything, guys.
No.
We can be friends.
We can be friends.
There are things universally that we should agree on, like fucking racism sucks, like equality, all this shit like that, right? Like those are things that shouldn't even be questioned. But then there are other things like religious views. There's no reason why, you know, somebody who grew up in a Christian church and somebody who grew up Muslim can't be friends, right? Like, yeah, there might be some religious differences there, but I guarantee you guys are going to find more commonalities between you two than you think, right? Yeah. Like, shit like that.
And it's such a way to grow too when you're willing to, you know, some of my good friendships and just conversations are people who have, like, we're pretty different as far as where we are in life for things that we believe in or things that we talk about. Like, you know, I never, going from the upbringing I had, I never in my life thought that I'd have friends that are like open Satanists. Yeah. Or like open, you know, open atheists. Yeah. You know, like, you know, it's, you know, so it's, what are my keys? Yeah. But it's just, you know, I judge my friendships on, you know, the conversations that I've had with them and the, you know, what the friendship was or, you know, I don't know.
Like, even example, my lady is plant-based. I'm a steak and potatoes type of guy. Yeah. Right. And it's been one of those things where this is something we talked about in the beginning. And I'm like, look, like, I really like ribeyes. Yeah. Like, I really like burgers, you know?
And Mike and I like going to barbecue spots.
Barbecue food. And so, like, one of the conversations it was like a compromise type thing. Like, she's like, if I'm cooking, I won't cook you meat. But if you order a steak or a burger, she's like, I'll probably silently judge you, but I won't really give you shit. And it's like, okay, that's fair, right? But there's like, it's not like an end all be all thing. Now, in that sense, if she was like, I need to date somebody that is 100% plant-based like me, I would I respect that.
Yeah.
You should be dating me.
Yeah.
Thing, right?
And that's fine.
And that's
like,
okay. Like we could still be friends.
the problem is that she tries to change you to be that,
Yeah.
you know.
Which who knows? It might come eventually. I'm just kidding.
Oh man. Hey Mike, do you want to hit up Cornerstone?
Yeah, do they have those ribs that are just corn?
You just get fries when we go. Like, no.
I can't even go to Stone Church anymore because the fries are cooked in beef tallow.
Are they?
Yeah.
So that's so delicious. Yeah.
Anyways,
but
that long little side note there, who I'm sure somebody's going to be mad at me for. It still being Mental Health Awareness Month, I did want to bring another little quote thing here. So this is a post that says things to stop assuming. So one of the things to stop assuming is that other people are happier than you are. You know, another thing is that you're never going to make progress on your goals. You know, don't assume it. Like, just keep hacking away at it. Keep grinding, keep putting in that work. Also, stop assuming that everyone else has the same boundaries as you. You know, this is going to be something that's very individual to you. And, you know, if you want people around you to really, you know, understand them and and respect them, you know, you have to communicate what your boundaries are.
right.
You have to be vocal about, you know, what you're willing to have in your life and what you're not. And don't compromise that, because, you know, you need that for your own well-being. Also, stop assuming that other people know what you need. Once again, communication is huge. Like, you know, if you're feeling unfulfilled, whether it's work, school, relationship with your partner, whatever that is, like, make sure that you're vocal about the things that you need.
Yeah,
don't just assume that somebody else knows that.
Yeah, don't be afraid to ask. I had a friend, and you know, she's like, I don't feel comfortable. They should just know. I was like, no, they don't.
Yeah,
They don't know. Like, you know, you're, you know, especially with, like, and this is just one small example of family, but it's like, yeah, parents are, they're your parents, and they're I'm sure they pick up on things. I'm sure they know you really well, but they don't know everything. Like, they don't know what's going on. And
yeah,
if there's an area where you need help, you need to tell them, like, hey, I need you to help me here. Like, I need this. I need support in this. You know, yeah. And I don't think that's being selfish when you're asking someone exactly what you need. You know, and I feel like it's all fair if you put it out there, and if they don't want to do it, then it's like, okay, well, at least I put it out there. Now I know I'm not gonna. Yeah. Not gonna rely on you over this, but.
Then last but not least, stop assuming that you don't deserve the same love that you give others. Yeah, I don't know any other way to say that really than just how it sounds.
Yeah.
A lot of times we tend to love people in a way that we want to be loved. Right. Or in a way that we weren't loved, that we were looking for. And
in the words of Have Heart, just love a world that won't love you back.
I feel like we just ended on that.
Just fades to dark.
Can we just like step away and just walk off screen? Once again, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We love you guys. Make sure you guys check us out at Walking Blind Pod.
Follow, subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe. Hit us with that review. Make sure that you guys let us know. If there's something that we said that you guys don't agree with, or you guys want to talk back with us, just hit us up.
Yeah, let us hear it. Chime in. I love, we've talked about this before, love the feedback.
And if you want to talk to one of us personally, Mike of NBR, and then at Mike Alcibar. If you want to hit the group chat, or the, Instagram at Walking Blind Pod, walkingblindpod@gmail.com. Yeah, hit us up. We got cool shit coming.
cool shit on the way.
We are actually. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out there because it'll like get us off our asses. We do have a couple of shirt designs that we're working on, and we are gonna set up like a pre-order for you guys that do listen and do check it out. We might even hide once everything gets rolling a little bit more. We might even hide like a discount code in one of the episodes.
Ooh, I like that.
And then we'll know if you guys actually listen or not. But make sure you guys check that out. We love you guys. We will see you next week.
Yeah. Peace.